My spidey senses started tingling, and I heard you guys were dragging one of my favorite fighters, so I had to throw my cape on really quickly and come and kick y'all's back in. I have stayed quiet on the Boots Ennis and Brian Norman situation here because I'm clearly a bad YouTuber, but mostly because I'm really over situations like this. We went on way, way, way too long with the Spence and Crawford situation and how they weren't able to get the fight made for years. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm personally vowing to never be that invested in one single fight. Just to touch on it a bit, this situation, I do see both sides, but I've come to the conclusion that the Normans are the reason that the fight did not get made. I'm going to stop short of suggesting how he should value himself in terms of what he brings to the table. But I do think Team Norman outpriced themselves. And before y'all call me fatherless in the comments, I need to remind y'all that the general consensus when Canelo said he wanted 200 million to fight David Benavidez was that he was a duck. So I'm gonna need y'all to keep that same energy because Canelo is arguably the face of boxing. He is to me. He's the only super middleweight undisputed champion. So we kind of gotta take that into consideration. Two completely different fighters. Um, Brian Norman is what I would like to refer to as an email champion. So is Boots. I'm not gonna lie there. They both got their titles um out the garbage. But yeah, just keep that in consideration. You guys were kicking Canelo's back in, as was I, when he asked for that 200 million. So um we just gotta keep that in mind when we're assessing the situation here. Um, on the other side, I also see where Team Ennis is coming from in Matchroom because if you negotiate with one terrorist, you have to negotiate with all of them. Steven Espinosa is on record saying that he's had to overpay every fighter that Boots has fought just to get them in the ring. So that by all means says that this is a duck move. Malleable maneuvering is going on, guys. But aside from all that, in a surprising twist of events, Matchroom lost the purse bid for the mandatory. I'm sure you guys saw it by now, but P2M, Karen's promoter, claimed promotional rights with a bid of $2 million, $2,053.10 to be exact, um, with Matchroom bidding 1.5 million. That's about all that fight is worth. We saw it once and it was terrible. And Karen pretty much ran around the ring for the entire fight. You guys saw it. We don't need to see it again. But the IBF, they're not playing. I don't know when they got so serious because that same belt that they're pressing, they were pressing Terrence Crawford to fight Boots for it. It had been quite some time um before they had Errol Spence fight for it. Like, I don't even think I lived in this house. So 6 years, 7 years. Somebody quote me on that. I'm not sure, but last time when Errol Spence defended the IBF, but it had been some time, and now every mandatory has to be made. But I guess this situation is a little bit different. Maybe not for Terrence Crawford. I still think they did him dirty, but Boots only has one belt, so there's really no reason why he can't defend that belt with the mandatory in that governing body. It stinks, but I'll allow it. Matchroom in this purse bid, they originally sought a 90-10 split instead of the IBF mandated 65-35. So I guess the 1.5 million wouldn't have panned out too horribly for Boots. And they're probably looking to make money on the fight if they had to take it, considering Matchroom overbid the last time when he was fighting David Evanesian. So he probably, I'm not sure what his contract says, but let's just say he makes 2 million a fight. So he made over 3 in that one. So they were probably trying to balance it out. So that kind of makes a little bit sense why they only they only bid 1.5 million. But did they? I know the bidding is done blindly, but did he not know that other people were bidding? Because I'm gonna always bid high, like just in that type of situation. I'm sure Matchroom is not in the business of losing money, but if they could defend that one time, they could have a throwaway fight. And it's clear that Philly comes out to support Boots. So in that situation, I could kind of see, you know, like digging in your purse, digging in your purse, like open your purse, Eddie. It's starting to look like maybe he doesn't have the best intentions for Boots. I don't want to. I want to stop short of saying that because we don't actually know. It seems like he's it. No, I'm not going to say that. It seems like from what Boots has said previously and team and Bowie, what they had all said previously was that he wanted to be undisputed at um 147. He wanted to be welterweight undisputed, right? And now there's talks that he's going to move up to 154, and that's fine with me because there's a lot more competition up there. I think 154 is very stacked, and but we'll get to that later. But it just seems like Eddie is not on the same page as Boots, because if he wants to be undisputed at 154 and you've had to overpay everybody in the past, you're definitely going to have to pay these email champions. Like everybody's email champion. Crawford got undisputed and everybody picked up his belts out of the trash. And everybody's acting like they beat Crawford and are demanding these high paydays. We know Eddie has the money, but nobody's in the business of losing money. That's why not really gonna chop his head off. But he is not doing right by Boots. And I do have a problem with that. It seems like a foregone conclusion that Boots is gonna go up to 154 rather than going over to Germany, possibly. Is that where Karen is from? Him running around that ring and possibly losing his belts, getting robbed on the cards. I wouldn't risk it if I were them. Honestly, let him have it. He can be an email champ. You guys can overpay to unify or do whatever you do because the IBF is going to make you fight your mandatories. Whatever they have in mind for that belt. But if he goes up to 154, I don't think there's any fighter at 154. None of them. None of them. None of them. So whoever you have in mind, get it out of your mind. I don't think there's anybody that undisputes in that division that keeps their O if they have one. No, but nobody. I'm going to say that loudly and proudly with chest. because I think there are too many sharks in the water there. But also, even if he goes up to 154, I think he'll have problems there as well getting fights, because a lot of the top guys, the big names there, are PBC fighters, and I feel like might be a little bit of grudge. There might be a little bit of grudge there because Boots did not sign with them, and they don't like crossing the street. There's no crossing guards over there. So not sure how that pans out. But Eddie, I'm watching you because it's looking like you're pulling a scam. And you know I will come and kick your back in. I will fly to London and kick your back in if you're trying to pull a scam. You got two of my favorite fighters. You got two of them signed. And you know how possessive I am. But anyway, you guys tell me who you guys think is wrong in this situation. I'm not getting into the money thing with Brian Norman Jr. This whole situation is a mess. And it's pretty much not going to happen. It might not happen ever. Even if Boots stays in the welterweight division, I still don't see that fight happening even down the line. It probably could, but it's like I said before, I'm not staying attached to any one fight. Um, Marination is a problem for me after 5 years of nonsense with two great fighters. So I'm not I'm cool on it. I'm very very cool on Marination. But anyway, you guys drop down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. I am over it. This is the last I'm going to talk about it. I will, however, come on you guys' channels if you have a channel. I'll come and talk shit in the chat because that's what I do professionally. That's my day job. But anyway, until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous, stay messy. Bye, y'all.